So we had a game night coming up, and I decided that it would be fun to make some snacks and appetizers all out of one book. So I used my 1965, the Settlement Cookbook, which this is another one that I'm coming to love. But on page, is it 38? Yeah. So it has this kind of build your own thing for dips. They recommend either sour cream or cream cheese for a base, and then to add things accordingly. So I did two of these, one with cream cheese and one with sour cream. The sour cream, I just did the onion soup mix. Very traditional. I remember growing up with this being done. I think I even remember seeing Lipton soup commercials over it. I will say there is not as many dry soup mixes in the store that there used to be. But I think there was onion and beef and onion. That's all I could find when I went to the grocery store. The other one I did with canned crab meat, which is right there, and some grated cheddar cheese, and some chives. Where are they? Garlic chives, actually, from my garden. The other thing that I did was this potted cheddar cheese. I'm telling you, this is homemade cheese whiz. I don't know how else to explain it. But it used 1 tablespoon of butter, a 1/4 pound cheddar cheese, cut fine or grated, 1/8 teaspoon cayenne pepper, a 1/4 cup of cream, the yolk of 1 egg, and it's a melt the butter, add cheese and pepper, stir until cheese melts, add cream to beaten yolk, pour into the cheese mixture, and cook, stirring constantly until thick and smooth. Pour into small jars, store in refrigerator. Okay, one thing I'm going to say. The cheese gets kind of clumpy as it melts. I would say in the future put the cream in with the cheese to melt it that way. I think it'll make for a smoother melt on them. So this pottage cheese is the only one that has a specific recipe. So we have the cheese, the cayenne, the butter, the cream, and the egg yolk. And I actually went out and bought cream just to have that 1/4 cup of cream. And you melt the butter in a pan. And then once the butter is melted, I added the cayenne pepper. Then, per the instructions, I added the shredded cheese. I'm going to say I would prefer to do this at the same time as I add the cream, because you see how clumpy the cheese starts to get. I was really worried I was going to burn it, but adding the cream in gave it more of a chance to turn into a liquid instead of goop. And then, of course, I added the egg yolk and stirred and stirred and stirred until it had a creamy consistency. And then I poured it into a couple of small canning jars I have. And I'm going to tell you, this so looks like melted Cheese Whiz at this point. And when it solidifies, it looks just like Cheese Whiz. Now, aren't those some cute little rings I found I got them from someone at church. Next recipe is sour cream and Lipton onion soup mix. I just did the 4 ounces of the sour cream and a couple of spoonfuls of the soup mix. I'm going to have to figure out something else to do with the other half of the Lipton soup mix. But it was going to be a small gathering. I didn't want too much stuff, but in all honesty, I still ended up with too much stuff. And next, of course, is the crab dip. I actually decided on the cheddar cheese later, but I used only half a can of the crab meat. I whipped up the cream cheese so that it was easier to mix and had a nice fluffy texture. And then I also added garlic chives from my garden. And as you can see, I just cut them up with scissors over the bowl. And as I would see, oh, nope, I still don't see them, I'd add more. That was pretty much my method on this. And I just kept whipping until the mixture was nice and fluffy. I would like to take a moment to just say how happy I am with how this photo turned out, despite the fact that I had not pressed the tablecloth. It looks like it could have come from one of those illustrations from a vintage cookbook. But along with the 3 dips that I made, I pulled out a small jar of my apple pear compote I made over the summer and had canned. There's also a bowl of toasted hazelnuts, some pepperoni and cheeses and vegetables, some crackers, and French toast that had not gone well, so I sliced it up and toasted it. But this was pretty easy. Everything was prepped the night before and just thrown out about 10 minutes before the party started. And once again, if you're enjoying these, please like and subscribe. I do find that very encouraging to continue. Thank you.